Left in predator territory, the human cadet didn't hide. He took control. The jungle canopy of Kepler 186F filtered the alien sun into fractured patches of green and amber. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Chen's voice crackled through Kess's helmet comm one final time. We're pulling back. Atmospheric contamination. You stay sheltered until extraction. The comm went dead. Kess checked his chronometer. 3 hours until the dropship could return. The jungle around him was breathing. Actual respiration, not metaphor. The massive filter trees that dominated this biome cycled atmospheric gases every 40 seconds, creating a rhythm that sounded almost biological, almost alive. He was alone, unarmed except for a flare gun and a titanium machete. And somewhere in this green hell, the Vex were hunting. The Vex weren't monsters from mythology. They were apex predators evolved over 11 million years in an environment without competition. Pack hunters, approximately 2 meters long, with distributed neural clusters that gave them genuine collective intelligence. The expedition had lost 2 soldiers to them already, both dead from coordinated ambush tactics. Both had tried to hide. Kess decided to do something different. He found the ridge system 2 kilometers inland, where the massive root systems of the filter trees created natural architecture. The rocks here were metamorphic, dense and tool-ready. He began selecting stones immediately, moving with purpose, not panic. His geology training from the academy proved useful. He needed specific densities, specific shapes. By the time the jungle's primary sun began its descent, Kess had constructed a perimeter barrier, not a wall. Walls were futile against creatures that could climb, dig, and coordinate. Instead, he created a network of stone channels, radiating outward from a central position like the spokes of a wheel. Each channel was exactly 1.2 meters wide. He knew from the expedition's data that the Vex hunted in coordinated lines, their pack structure favoring parallel attacks from multiple vectors. The channels would funnel them into predictable approaches. Next, he set traps. Not snares. The Vex were too intelligent to fall for mechanical devices twice. Instead, he created acoustic zones using carefully positioned stones that would generate specific resonance frequencies when disturbed. The Vex communicated through ultrasonic clicks and harmonics. Disruptive noise would confuse their coordination without causing injury. Kess had learned in tactical training that disorientation was more valuable than harm. Confused predators made mistakes. As darkness fell, he built his fire directly in the center of the channel system, deliberately visible and bright. The Vex had exceptional thermal vision. His fire would serve as both a beacon and a distraction. He wanted them to see him. He wanted them to hunt. They came at dusk, when the filter tree's respiration cycle created maximum ambient noise. 3 of them, moving through the jungle with practiced stealth. Kess watched through his thermoscope as they analyzed the barrier system. Their collective intelligence was palpable. He could actually see the moment they made a decision, their thermal signatures shifting as they began moving to the channels as intended. When they entered the first acoustic zone, Kess triggered a stonefall sequence using a rigged system of balanced rocks and cordage. The collapse created a noise burst that hit the Vex ultrasonic communication bandwidth directly. The creatures shrieked, a sound like tortured metal, and scattered backward in confusion. They regrouped, tried a different channel. Kess was ready. This time he triggered a flashbang, his flare gun modified with a secondary charge that Chun had given him for emergencies. The burst of light overloaded their thermal vision momentarily. He heard their clicks of distress, saw them stumbling, disoriented. But the third approach was different. The Vex were adapting. 2 of them came through separate channels, yes, but the third climbed directly up the filter tree above Kess's position, attempting an aerial approach that bypassed the ground-based traps entirely. Kess saw the thermal signature moving across the canopy and understood immediately. They'd recognized the pattern. They were learning. He didn't panic. He activated the secondary perimeter he prepared, a series of chemical light sticks arranged in a specific pattern that mimicked a predator territory marker. The lights flickered in ultraviolet frequencies, invisible to human eyes but perfectly clear to the Vex sensory organs. The climbing creatures stopped mid-descent. The other 2 emerged from their channels and halted. For 30 seconds, nothing moved. The filter trees breathed. The alien night pressed down with its own weight. Then the Vex turned away, moving back toward the jungle, their thermal signatures retreating steadily. They weren't fleeing in panic. They were withdrawing methodically, like soldiers respecting an established perimeter. Kes sat by his fire, heart still hammering, and understood what had just happened. He hadn't survived through luck or through hiding. He'd survived because the Vex recognized something in his tactics, something in the structure of his defense. They'd recognized intelligence. The calm crackled to life 20 minutes later. Chen's voice was tight. Kes, we're inbound. Thermal shows 3 large contacts retreating from your position. Did you? Yes, Kes interrupted. Ma'am, I think we need to reconsider our entire engagement strategy. They're not animals we can outrun. There was a long pause. What did you do? Chen finally asked. Kes looked out at the jungle, at the filter trees breathing in the darkness, at the retreating thermal signatures of the Vex growing smaller on the horizon. They were watching too, he realized, waiting, learning. I showed them respect, he said, and they showed it back.